Did you know that right now your body is making new cells? In fact, every second your body produces about 10 trillion new cells. That's 10 with a trillion zeros. To put that in perspective, that's about 10 times the number of cells in the entire universe. When a stem cell divides, it creates new cells. One of these cells is a stem cell, so it can make more cells later on. The other cell, though, starts to specialize and become a part of one of the body's tissues or organs. So, where do all these new cells come from? Well, it all starts with one cell, the stem cell. Well, it all has to do with the genes they express. Muscle cells, on the other hand, express the genes that make them able to contract and relax, which allows them to move. If we can find a way to do this safely and efficiently, it could potentially lead to new treatments for all sorts of diseases. Every cell in the body has the same DNA, but not all cells use all of their genes. And if we can understand how that happens, we may be able to find ways to make people healthier and live longer. For example, it's how the body replaces old or damaged cells. It's also how the body grows and develops from a single cell to a multi-trillion cell organism. The genes that are expressed or turned on determine what the cell becomes. Stem cells are like the building blocks of the body. They're the cells that make all other cells. And there are different types of stem cells that make different types of cells. For example, there are stem cells that make skin cells, muscle cells, and even brain cells. So, how do these new cells get to be so specialized? For example, skin cells express the genes that make them produce keratin, which is a protein that makes skin tough and waterproof. The process of making new cells is called cell proliferation. And it's important for a lot of reasons. As we age, our stem cells become less efficient at making new cells. This leads to a buildup of damaged cells and tissues, which contributes to the symptoms of aging. But sometimes cell proliferation goes wrong and cells start dividing uncontrollably. This can lead to the formation of tumors and cancer. So while making new cells is essential for life, it's also one of the ways that we can get sick. In fact, most of the diseases we associate with aging are really diseases of the stem cells. So what can we do about this? Well, one promising area of research is trying to find ways to reprogram adult cells to become stem cells again. So the next time you look in the mirror, remember that the you looking back at you is made up of trillions of cells that were made from just one.